residents. This is Jacob. Welcome to DangerVille. So after a real long dry spell of anything monster related, we finally have ourselves almost too much information coming out, and you all know what I'm talking about here. Godzilla vs. Kong has took over the world. But within the debris of the hype for Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla Singular Point, the new Netflix anime series, has quietly started to put its feet underneath it. And I think after today's video, many of you are finally going to give this new series a chance. We got ourselves the first full body shot of Godzilla's new design in Godzilla Singular Point, and you know that's what we're gonna break down today. I already knew I was going to probably like the Singular Point Godzilla design, and this official reveal pretty much puts that in stone. I really like it. Overall, his body just looks much more like a dragon, and I dig that. You know, they kind of steered away from Godzilla being a dragon for so long now that this design right here it has me excited. I love dragons, and just the way his body looks armored with his scales and kind of how they're overlapping each other, that looks really cool and like he's protected. Overall, he just looks a lot more like a dragon, and I'm a huge dragon fan, so I'm all in on this design. Now, there's a few things that I think are a bit questionable, as I'm sure you have some questions as well, and we're going to talk about that. But first off, I'm going to talk to you about what's really standing out in a positive way about this new design for the big Gman. Pretty much anything from his waist up I really like. Specifically his spines. Now those are some of the coolest Godzilla dorsal plates I've ever seen. Until now I thought, King of the Monsters or now Godzilla vs. Kong Godzilla spines were my favorite, but I know I still have to see this in action, but I love these spines. I like how you can kind of see the blood veins growing underneath them, or maybe they're not even veins, maybe it's just some sort of cool design, but overall it looks really awesome, almost like a frozen tree with ice around it. I don't know, I love those spines. But moving on from the spines, I also really like his arms. Now, I don't know if we've ever seen a Godzilla have arms like this. It's almost like he has shoulder pads near his, his upper arm, and then his lower arms looks like he's wearing gauntlets, almost like he's got a full-on set of armor on here, and I really like that. This Godzilla just looks like he can deal and take a lot of damage, so really love his arm design here. Moving on, I like his cobra looking neck, how wide it is. That's a real cool design for Godzilla. It just makes it look like, that neck can support a lot of damage and impact. So if someone goes and smacks him in the head, it's gonna make sense that his neck can withstand that. But speaking of his head, I love this design for Godzilla's head. I think it's one of my favorite, and it pretty much corrects what I think MonsterVerse Godzilla's design kind of suffers from, and that's Godzilla just having a way too tiny head for his body. This head looks like it makes sense on this body, and I like to see that. It makes it look like he's, he could actually chomp down on something and deliver a lot of damage. So I love his upper body in Singular Point. Definitely one of my favorite designs. He just looks cool and it doesn't look like goofy at all, and I really like that, and I think his coloration definitely adds to that. You can see all sorts of textures with it, and it just looks really nice. But even with all the positives here, I still do have those question marks with a few things about this design. And I'm gonna talk about the one that I know plenty of you are already saying, look at how damn thick he is. I mean, it's like 4 C's type of thick here. Damn, boy, he's thick! It's been a joke in the Godzilla community lately, ever since Godzilla 2014, about Godzilla being a thick boy. It gave him a little thunder thigh thing going on. And we see that continue in this design right here, almost even more. He has the legs like you would see on a dinosaur, so they have that nice athletic look to them, but at the end of the day, it's like he's got, I don't even know here. His legs are thicker than his body, and it looks a little odd, and I could see how some people are really kind of thrown off on that a little bit. It could very well just be the angle that he's standing, and they could have, toned them down a little bit so people would focus more on the awesome quality of this design instead of instantly just going, oh man, look how thick he is. Like, that's really where your eyes go first. You just see those big old jumbo thighs there sticking out, and it's just like, I just want to smack it. Well, that shouldn't be the thought process going through our head here. With his feet, they look kind of like clown feet in this picture right here. Now, I like the actual design of the feet, how they look more like, dinosaur feet. They have that 1998 Godzilla look to them, and I like that. The only problem with these feet is that they're huge. They look like clown feet. They're way too big for his body. I don't even know how he's going to be able to walk without dragging his feet, against the ground. So maybe he's just going to walk flat foot. That's the only way I could see this Godzilla walking. And at that point, it's just going to look weird. He's going to be walking around like Big Bird here with his feet just, not bending or anything. And now lastly, a question mark I have for his tail. Now I can see some really epic shots happening with his tail, like long looming scenes where his tail is just like flying past the screen all slow like. I could see some cool shots coming from this tail. And I'm trying not to think too hard because this is an anime about fictional monsters, we can't take it too serious, but it's just a weird shot at his tail, and it just looks way too long. It doesn't look like it makes any sense. Way too long, way too thick, but I do like the look of the design of the tail. Like, it's a nice looking tail. The spines look good going down it. This Godzilla looks really cool, guys. I don't know what you think. You may have your own opinions, but in my own, I love this design. So make sure to let me know what you think about this design down below, and we'll kind of see where it goes from there. I'm excited to see more about Godzilla's Singular Point. I know a lot of people aren't really noticing it because the Godzilla vs. Kong hype is so real. It's definitely overshadowing Singular Point, but I think at least classic Godzilla fans are really going to like this anime. Now, as Al and I were talking about this new look for Godzilla, he made a very good point that, it's really great that with Singular Point Godzilla, we can't tell if he's a protector or a destroyer, a good guy or a bad guy here. He just looks really neutral, and we can't really tell where he's coming from. Is he just being the big bad guy attacking mankind? Is he leading the monsters? Is he a savior? Is he going to protect the world from any sort of troubles? This confusing red mist, we don't know, and that's cool. We can't put our finger on if he's a good guy or a bad guy, Godzilla, because you know how Godzilla is. He's all over the board. He's a much more diverse character than I think a lot of people realize. So we think that's really cool that you can't tell if he's a good guy or a bad guy. But anyway, guys, I hope you like this new design for Godzilla in Singular Point. And you know that we're gonna make sure to keep you up to date on Singular Point as much as we can, because really, don't forget about Singular Point just because Godzilla vs. Kong. We're excited for that too, but there's a lot of monster content coming out. So, it's on Netflix. Why not get excited for this too? And we'll see you in the next one.